Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Me and Jesse podcast. I am Mark Pavelich, and across the way in the Grove, the big sexy, wearing one of our dual. See, Jesse and I only like two teams the same.
That's true.
In the world, okay? At every sport, you name it. We love the Raptors, and we want to congratulate them on a great season because as we will talk later in the show about, that's probably as far as they should have went anyway, but they played great. And then, of course, the Stingers in Edmonton, which is the Canadian basketball
champions of the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
And we love that. We love it. Yep. Jesse and I will be sitting courtside. You want to come out and see us, we'll be there for many of the games this year.
Absolutely. If you want to see a good time.
Yeah.
If you want to see a great time, better professional time than you could ever get.
Yes. Without putting down any other organizations in the city of Edmonton.
Okay.
You're correct. Or you can if you want, Jesse.
Well, I just think it's so much better than the CFL. I just absolutely believe that it is a better league. And I love football. I love the NFL so much.
Me too.
But I honestly believe that the Canadian Elite Basketball League has something special, and they need to continue it, and it needs to grow, and fans need to support this because the step down from the NBA to the CEBL, and we've said this so many times, is shorter than the step down from the NFL to the CFL.
Oh, 100% true.
And you want to watch some good ball, and it's fun. Like, it is great time.
High scoring.
Especially when we're there. Let's be real.
Well, I wouldn't say me so much. I would say you.
No. Well, the boys, Ken shows up. Hey, it's going to be a good time.
When between you and Ken, I told my wife, I've never peed my pants even when I was a kid, and I said I almost peed my pants at the Stingers game when you and Ken are in the front row just trash talking. I mean, if there was awards to give away, okay, you would definitely be like top one or two in the world.
Well, everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Me and Jesse podcast. I mean, so much going on in world sports right now. Of course, the Raptors, and again, we love the Raptors so much. It's a shame. I can't explain how much I hate Joel Embiid.
Right here next to the Leafs. You got the Leafs here first.
He's one of those guys, though. You know, and again, if we had him on our team, we'd absolutely love him. But playing against him sucks, and he's such a crybaby for most of the time. But again, let's not talk about those guys. Let's talk about the Raps. Because, hey, in Masai, we trust.
Yes.
Because Masai Ujiri, a couple years ago, trades our DeMar DeRozan, who we love. Gets Kawhi Leonard, wins us a championship. Okay. Yep. Masai's genius. This draft comes up, and Suggs is out there, and I'm like, okay, we need to get this guy. This guy's going to be amazing. He's like, no, I'm going to pick this kid, Scotty Barnes.
We're like, who?
But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm tempering it because it's Masai. Okay, it's Masai. Yeah. But I don't know if you made the right choice. Scotty Barnes, rookie of the year. Guy plays like he's a 10-year vet, controls the floor like a quarterback. He can dish unbelievable. He can drive the net unbelievable. This kid is unreal, and he's going to be even better in years to come. Plus, if we can get another piece of the puzzle,
just
boy, oh boy, watch
one
out.
One or two.
Yeah, we need a big man back. We need a big man. Losing Ibaka was rough. We need a guy like that back. If we get a guy like that back, look out. These Raps aren't going to lay down. They know how to win. Most of them are champions, and they will continue to be good. Next year, they will be good. And so, it was unfortunate they got down in that hole early. I was hoping that, they could split in Philly and then come back to TO, or, after the two games, like at least, win a couple back in TO and put the pressure all back on Philly, but it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And Philly's a good team. There's no question. They just know how to roll. And they they almost beat us that year in game 7. Like
with Kawhi.
It was was the amazing shot at the end. So Philly. I mean, I was chill still.
You ever get tired of watching that show?
No, I've watched it literally 100,000 times.
Oh, me too.
But you got to give credit to Philly because Philly is a good team and they deserve to be winning. And they played the Raps very well. And so
Well, what does that remind you, Jesse? This reminds me now of back in the day with the Pistons and the Bulls.
Yeah.
This is the kind of matchup now between the Lakers and the Celtics. And now you're going to have this other matchup between Philadelphia and Toronto.
Yeah.
There's going to be this beef going on now for hopefully years to come.
It'll definitely be there because they both are built really well. And I think they're going to continue to roll both those teams. So, it could be them and Golden State in the final. We'll see. But
great final.
Golden
Great
State's like starting to ramp it up here. And so again, and the Bucks, losing some guys and how long can the Greek Freak keep going?
Yeah.
Being the one-man show, essentially.
Let's say the Greek Freak decides he wants to come to a better country. and he said,
well, that was the rumor, but he signed a good deal.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know as well as I do. That doesn't mean shit anymore. And NBA and NFL doesn't matter what he's
really.
And any sport doesn't matter. So imagine he looks at his team and he says, "Shit, I can't win with this team. Like, I can't win with this team." And he comes to Toronto, and you put him now. They beat Philadelphia in 5. If the Greek Freak's playing for the Raptors, so they would have won that series in 5.
Right.
So you understand, we went 6 with no super the Greek Freak. You put the Greek Freak on the Raptors, they go far.
Oh, dude, it'd be over. I honestly think you'd be the number 1 contender. I really do.
One guy.
And again, Masai Ujiri knows what he's doing. He trades Powell for Gary Trent Jr., who absolutely went nuts.
But at the time, we were looking at it going, that's bananas.
I knew. I had a feeling about him. I looked at his numbers. I looked at what he did in college, and being young, he's 23. I'm like, man, this is a young Gary Powell with better ball handling and better defense. I mean,
you did say that. Yep.
Hey, how many 30-pointers did he put up this year? It was unreal. He was great. And so I think breakout player Pascal, our boy Pascal, whom we love. Here's the issue with the Raptors.
Streaky.
They don't have a finisher.
Yeah.
Van Vliet doesn't finish. Siakam has choked on a finish numerous times.
Yep.
We don't have a dagger in the coffin that can come down with 15 seconds left and finish a game. And we really need that. We really need that guy to come and do that.
Siakam should be that guy, though.
He should be that guy, but he isn't.
Yeah,
that's it. He's had ample opportunity to prove he can do it, and he can do it throughout the game until the last minute. And it, I hate to say it, but that's the breakdown. It is what it is.
And
so
that's not putting down Siakam either.
No,
that's not
because
he's a great player.
46 minutes, he plays unreal.
He's awesome.
And so you're like, okay, well. Yeah.
Exactly. What are you drinking?
Delicious beer. It's from Steamworks, from Vancouver. It's a red ale. It's very nice, actually. All right. Well, what are we doing?
We're going to break down Jesse the Gent, everybody. I want you to use that hashtag moving forward. Jesse the Gent is going to start because you're so great in the NFL.
Thank you.
And I figure your NFL genius will pass through to the NHL. Okay. Now I got the NHL matchups for the first round.
Yes. Well, it is playoffs that start tonight.
Yeah. And listen,
games tonight.
You can get your bets in. And listen, we use the hashtag Jesse the Gent. Gent spelled with a G, as in God. So you can use that. Okay. But listen, we got Dallas and Calgary. Jesse, tell us.
You want me to start with that one? Let's finish with that one. That's my team.
No, I want you to start with it. I want you to give him the good juice right off the get-go.
Okay, let me break this down a little bit here.
And why?
The Flames have struggled with the Stars. The Flames, again, win the Pacific Division handily. They dominated all season long. They have a line with 3 40-goal scorers, that's crazy. Multiple 100-point players. The goaltending has been unreal. The defense is arguably the best in the NHL. And I know Oilers fans hate that right now, but the numbers are there, and it's proof. They're top 3 in every category in the league.
Yep.
That being said, they struggle with the Stars. It's true.
Okay.
But I think they win this one in 6. Because of home ice, I think they're coming there jacked. I think, if they can do what they do and shut down the Stars right away in that first 5 minutes, they're going to be okay. They're going to settle in, and they're going to take it away. The Flames really haven't had a playoff push with this core ever. So it's going to be interesting. It is a wild card. It is a tough one to predict. I'm really do believe it's a tough one to predict. I say
6.
Flames in 6 though, because
Flames
it's
in
the
6.
Flames.
Okay, let's keep it rolling here. We got the Kings versus the Oilers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I think anyone in the Oilers fan needs to win this series. Oilers need to win this series.
No question.
They need to.
Yes.
If they do not, I don't know what's going to happen, but they need to. And I think they will.
But it'd be catastrophic if they don't get out of the first round.
No, they need to. There isn't another option. They have to win this series.
And what do they win it in? How many games?
You know, this is one of the things that I think they could actually sweep the Kings. I really do.
Whoa!
I don't think it's going to happen.
So 5?
I think they're going to win in 5.
Wow.
I think, hey, again, the Oilers are a scary one to predict, but the end of the season says anything. They were playing really well. They were actually playing good hockey.
Yes.
And you can say, well, they play good hockey all the time. No, they don't. They play horrible hockey. They play I can score more than you hockey in a shootout style.
Like Grant Fuhr era.
Yes.
You know, like,
I'll score 8 and you score 7. You're not going to win the playoffs with that mentality.
No.
However, over the last 10 games, they proved that, hey, we're starting to get better. Yes, the goaltending was better. Now, the question is, did goaltending, burn itself out in that 10 games to make the playoffs?
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think they outmatch the Kings. I can't see the Kings doing much against them, especially because Doughty's out. And so you're like, I say Oilers in 5, which sucks. I don't want the Flames and Oilers to play. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm just going to turn off all social media. You're not going to see me for that whole series. What was that?
Nashville, Colorado.
Nashville, Colorado. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Perfect.
all right. Nashville, Colorado, I mean, I'm glad that we didn't have to play the Preds, because Preds have actually been playing amazing. Preds have been playing hot.
Yeah.
That being said, Avalanche are going to avalanche these guys, but I don't think it's going to be a sweep, and I don't think it's going to be 5. I'm going to say Avalanche in 6, because I do think the Preds are going to win a couple. They're going to steal a couple with that team defense. But the Avalanche, well, we'll talk about predictions at the end, but Avalanche, I'm going to say, going to win that series in 6. And you know what? It's not, they're going to have moments where it looks like it's rough, but they're going to cruise along.
Gotcha. Okay, and now we got St. Louis versus Minnesota.
You know, this is which St. Louis team are you going to get? Is it the team that, can win a cup, or is it the team that, flounders miserably? And the Wild did something smart, which the Oilers should have done. They got Marc-Andre Fleury. For some reason, Marc-Andre Fleury in the playoffs plays twice as good as he does normally. And he's not bad.
No.
He's a good goaltender.
Correct.
But when the playoffs come around, Marc-Andre Fleury steps it up. He knows another gear. You don't win that many cups without knowing that gear. And he knows the gear. So not only is he going to be able to switch that gear on, he is going to lead that team.
Oh.
Wild in 7.
Ooh. 7?
Yeah.
Wow.
That one's going to the wire. I think that one's a tough one.
Okay, this is the one here. This is a sleeper right now, and this is a scary one. But it's the Caps and the Panthers.
Well, I want to say Panthers, because they've been so good, and I think that they're just going to get better. I'm going to say Panthers.
Really?
Yeah, I'm saying Panthers. Now, I do,
and what?
OV, it sucks. It's a horrible matchup. OV could have gone to the conference final again.
Yeah.
This matchup sucks. And I think that Panthers take it in 5.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
That's a sleeper, everybody. That's a sleeper right there.
That one's tough because I think the Panthers can roll them. I think they can roll them.
This could be the shortest lived hashtag in history, Jesse the Gent.
I know it could be. It could be wrong for everything. Think about the NHL playoffs. It's the most unpredictable. We don't know. There's going to be a team that makes a run. I don't know which one it is. I have a feeling maybe, but I don't think. In the West, the Avalanche looked so good. My call for the West final.
Not yet.
Okay, don't do that yet.
All
right.
At the end. I don't want to confuse people at home. Okay, now we have Tampa and the Leafs.
Now, anyone that doesn't like the Leafs is loving this matchup. Leafs fans hate it. This is bad. The Leafs need to win this series, to be honest. They need to. As Edmonton does. They need to win. The difference is they won't. They will get absolutely decimated by the Lightning. Now, that being said,
last time they played 8-1. It was 8-1 for Tampa over the Leafs the last time they played.
I'm going to give the Leafs a little bit of life and say they make it 6 games. But they go to that 6th game and they get wasted.
6th game. So Tampa and 6.
It could go up 3-0 for Lightning, kind of thing.
Ooh. From your mouth to God's ears, Jeff.
I know you like that one. And Leafs fans hate it, but that is a bad matchup.
Well, did you see even everybody on Sportsnet and TSN today? Everybody's like, they're trying to get all hyped up about it, but they can't. They just can't.
Well, how do you? When you look at that team, top to bottom, Lightning, they're built amazing. And yes, I understand. Austin Matthews had a great year. I get it.
Yeah.
But where does it fall off? It falls off pretty quick. It's an Oilers situation, to be honest. I think the Leafs are actually better than the Oilers. I actually do. But it's still the same problem. There's a steep fall off. And so I can't see them coming out of game 6 there.
I like that one. Okay, Boston and Carolina.
This is the hardest one to
pick.
Great
series.
Because Carolina absolutely dominated this season. They were amazing.
Yeah.
That being said, the Bruins are scary. Now, they're not the Bruins of old. They're not.
Correct. Yeah.
But they're still the Bruins.
Yeah.
This one's going to go 7 games.
Yeah. Who?
Man, that's tough. I'm going to say Carolina takes it in 7.
Wow. Okay, Carolina 7. I'm going to post everything on our Facebook page, everybody on Twitter, Jesse's picks. They'll be up today on both on our Twitter page and as well as on our Facebook
Oilers
page.
Fans, chime in. Whoever's there, chime in. You know, you might think I'm out to lunch, but hey, I mean.
How about Pittsburgh? Okay, one more. Pittsburgh.
We got one more.
Pittsburgh and the Rangers.
Man, oh man, is this the last ride? Is this the last ride? That's the question.
I'm saying it is.
This is,
but I'm not. There's no.
Okay, I said that there's a team that might make a run, and it could be the Pens. Wow. The Pens could be the Cinderella. Imagine saying that 10 years ago. Oh, one day the Pens will be Pens were so dominant, but they could be the Cinderella team if they can get through the Rangers
convincingly.
Yeah, I don't even think it has to be convincing. I think they need
just go.
Yeah. And now they are older, so it shouldn't be a rough series. It shouldn't be. But I'm gonna say Penguins in 6.
Okay, all right.
I don't think the Rangers are great, but man, I think the Pens could be the Cinderella team.
Okay, everybody at home, just so you know, if you're gonna bet this, okay, you're gonna bet this from Jesse the Gent. Listen to me when I tell you this.
I'm not liable for any.
Only
lost
NFL
money.
Only NFL he is. Okay, so we got Dallas and Calgary. We got Calgary in 6. We got the Oilers in 5. We got Colorado in 6. We got Minnesota in 7. We got this one. This one is the sleeper. We got the Caps against the Panthers, and we got the Panthers in 5. We got Tampa and the Leafs. We got Tampa in 6. This is a great series. This is going to be a tough series. Carolina and Boston. We have Carolina in 7, and then we have Pittsburgh and the Rangers, and we have Pittsburgh in 6. Sidney Crosby, Cinderella story. We have them in 6. We'll be posting this on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Jesse,
I don't think Sid will retire if they win. I don't think he will retire.
I don't think so either. He's still playing at a high level, right?
Yeah, I do. I just think it's, is this the last dance for them?
Let's talk about this though today, because I know we were talking about it earlier today, and I agree with you 100% on this. And I when I was asking you earlier today when we were off camera, I was talking to you about the season length of the NHL, and you were saying that that's kind of got you on a disconnect with the NHL.
You know what? The NHL, I was so big into the NHL. I really was. I was huge into baseball too, believe it or not. I watched a vast majority of games.
Correct.
But there's something that both those sports have done, and specifically the NHL this year, because I found myself not interested. That schedule is too long. The games don't mean much. like
Correct.
for example, we cared about the last 20 games of this season. Now, what if you were to minus 22 games? Let's say you played 60 games next year.
Even it out, 60.
You go 60 games. And all those games become that much more value. You can't go on a 5-game slump, losing 5 games in a row.
Twice.
You lose a 6th of the season, it's over.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
every single game becomes more valuable. And one thing I keep hearing is that we hate back-to-back games. The players hate it. The coaches hate it. Managers hate it. Everybody hates it. Yep. Everybody hates. You get rid of the back-to-back game. You don't have to worry about that. The next thing is if you really care about the talent of your league, if you really care about the talent, this is why the NFL only has 17 games, and they're going to up it a little bit. They'll probably go to 18, but this is why they limit it, because there's only so much a human body can take. So yes, okay, you get guys that play 10, 15 plus years, but the majority doesn't. The majority taper off because their body just can't keep up anymore. So you could actually limit the season by a little bit, an eighth, and save some bodies for the future of your sport.
Love it.
Not only that, every single game becomes more valuable. So what does that do? It puts more fans in the seats because this game means more. It puts more. You don't have to play your own division 6 times. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't get why you have to do it so much.
No good.
You put more seats in. Yes, okay, you're going to lose money, but you're going to sell out more games for those teams that don't. And then if you're a player, like, oh, we're not going to make as much money. Well, you get a bonus if you make the playoffs. And every round you go through, you get a bonus. So why not do that? Why not save that money on one side and make it on the other side? You're going to get more teams wanting to compete to make that spot. And I just think it's going to be more exciting based on need to win more and more. Yeah. The next thing I think they should do, and we didn't talk about this, is I think they need to change the point structure. I think they need to go to a soccer point structure. 3 points for a win. And Brian Burke has said this for a decade.
Yeah.
3 points for a win. And then when you go to OT, there's still 3 points up for grabs. But
if
the
you win
winning
in OT.
team gets 2, and the other team gets the 1 again.
Oh.
Does that because if you go to OT, you automatically get a point.
Yeah.
And so the other team gets 2. So there's always, every game, there's 3 points available. You win in regulation, you get all 3. You go to OT.
Interesting.
You're going to get 1, but the other team only gets the 2. So you're going to split that a little bit. That makes you wanting to win in regulation that much more exciting. Because you want to finish and get that bonus point over your other team. And man, like that, you solve the issue of a long, drawn-out season. I know there's people that watch every single game and somehow find the moment. I just don't get it. Like, I think it's not exciting enough night in, night out to warrant 82 games. I think you can make it way more exciting. Now, the playoffs are awesome. To me, they're the best out of any sport.
And not just that. Want to talk about taxing the body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So why not make it even better, the playoffs? You can have even better playoffs with healthier players and things like that. Yeah. And like, nobody will argue that playoff hockey is boring.
Nobody.
Like, that is the exciting time because everything matters so
starting
much.
Today,
That's
starting today on, it's a whole different planet.
It's a whole different thing. And again, like, people are like, oh, they play harder. No. They play different maybe a little bit, but every game matters that much more.
That's right.
So it's more intense. The fans are more intense. The players feel more intense. What's that?
The first game, do the math. Win the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah.
What the percentage goes up
immensely. It goes up huge.
Yeah, huge.
But that it's such a big. It's so every game's so important, and that's why we watch it. So I think that you lose a bit when you make a longer season. I don't know. It lost it for me. I just couldn't get into it this year. Less than any other year I've ever watched hockey. This was the least I ever watched.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just couldn't. And again, you follow and stuff, and you know what's going on. But sitting there night in, night out, I'm like, man, I don't want to invest in this. I'll watch the Raptors.
Yeah.
I'll watch football. Hey, I'll watch the Tennessee Titans and Miami Dolphins. Why? Because it matters. Because that game matters.
Yeah.
And so
I like that.
Yeah, I just, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Like, hey, our time is valuable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't our time worth something? So why?
I like what the NFL did, though. The NFL went and said, okay, we're going to add in a game. I think they need to add to 18. I think the number should be 18 games, and because the season is such a gap, right? So
It is.
NFL, the gap is so long that we're basically, okay, we just finished the draft. So that's a big thing.
Now we have 4 more months. 5 more months.
And now they do some like practice thing. Now there's a practice thing. Now they do a practice, OTAs. And
It's essentially 5 months still.
And then they do another one in the summer, right? And that's the one gearing up for September to start the season. It's like it's just, and now we have what do we have coming up? Oh, in 2 weeks the schedule comes out. So they give you crumbs, you know. It's like a crumb. It's like a crumb.
Yeah.
And the draft.
But
we're waiting.
We like they've done it right. They
Yes.
figured it out.
They want us. We're jonesing. We're jonesing for the NFL, and they got it right because they know how to keep us on the drip.
You think
And
like
we're on the
even
drip.
at
You know?
20 games, you probably would still be as interested.
You got to be careful though. Now guys are getting killed, right? Like this.
Yeah, and that's the other side. You're right. You're right. That is the other side.
You got to be careful now because I agree with. You know, it's funny.
18's the cap. Leave it that way for 20 years.
When Sherman was talking about it one day, Sherman was talking about to get rid of Thursday night football.
I agree. I hate Thursday night football.
And Sherman said it best one day, and I disagreed with him immensely. And then I saw Richard Sherman say one day, he's like, "Listen, man. Okay, so if I play Monday night, for example, sometimes you still have to play on Sunday. Okay, so it's not you don't miss. Sometimes you do have to play on that Monday, and then when you play on the Thursday, you have to play the next Monday, right?
Yeah.
And he says the body sometimes can't. Like the level they're playing at, it's impossible for injury. Everybody's injured in the NFL. There's nobody that's not injured. So this is a consistent thing. That's happening.
The problem is that you play Sunday and then you have to play Thursday.
That's right.
That's rough.
So that happens. So you have to get rid of unless you get you're in the bye week, which that doesn't happen either sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to change the game in the fact of, okay, let's put an 18-game season and let's get rid of Thursday night football.
Yeah, I think
Watch everybody. Keep Monday night football to the end of time. You have no choice. We have to keep Monday night football.
I agree.
Get rid of Thursday night football. Have 18 games. NFL now has gone to a whole nother planet.
Yeah.
You don't have guys playing those back-to-back games. They're getting killed doing that. So you understand, we can argue all day long. We can sit here all day long and say, oh, what's the greatest? There's no better athlete on the planet, okay, ladies and gentlemen, than the NFL athlete. And you're talking to a guy that started almost MMA in Canada telling you this. And everybody's going to sit around and go, MMA athletes are the best. They're not. NFL athlete, when a guy's 320
people
pounds.
are going to say hockey athletes are the best.
It's bullshit. Let me explain this to you. NFL athletes, guys 320 pounds, running a 4.8. Okay,
crazy.
Let me explain that to you right now. That's like a car coming at you at 4.8 seconds in the 40 meters. You know what I mean? And people don't understand, and the way and the jumping and the leaping and the speed. That's why they're paid so much money. Do you understand? I'm not talking about, like, people say MMA athlete for fighting. We're not talking about fighting. We're talking about athletics.
Yes.
And there's no better athlete on the planet than NFL athletes. End of story. I think you agree with me on this.
What about basketball?
Basketball would be number 2 because if you
equal with soccer.
Well, you know why I say NBA? Because unless you've watched a game live, like I've watched multiple games live, I have never seen any. Like I've been to multiple NFL games, I've been to multiple NBA games, I've been to NHL games, you name it. I've been to everything. Okay, I've been in the cage at the UFC multiple times, and I'm telling you, NBA live, when you see that athlete take flight, you understand like how they can cover the court. It is bizarre.
I think what people have a struggle with is with the NFL part.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that, well, some guys just block. It's not a skill position. No, it isn't a skill position. But what we're saying is they're the best athletes.
Well,
it's a difference. Because hockey, you need to know how to shoot and whatever, and skate, which, how many people can skate? So, yes, there's other skills, sports that you have to be skilled at. But to pure athlete, pure athleticism, that's it.
Combine. Combine
Yeah.
says it all. People ignore the combine. I watch it
You
religiously.
love the combine.
I mean, I'm obsessed with the combine. And when you see an athlete jump this way, okay, you see my hand going out of the. See it's going, okay, and then you see him go this way, and it's going out of the picture again.
Yep.
And then you see him every direction, okay, and then they do all kinds of stopping and starting drills on their feet and how they can move. And it's not just how they can move; it's at the weight they can move.
Yeah, 300+ pounds.
It's that's what I tell people all the time. It's like, yes, of course, this guy can skate, this person can throw, this person can do this. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the
Pure athleticism.
pure. That's the word.
Yeah.
Pure athleticism. It's NFL athletes, and I'm telling you, NBA athletes too. They're a very close second in the.
It's an interesting sport because you gotta. I mean, you gotta be able to run. Like, and again, soccer too. But it seems like soccer you can. Take a break a little bit, but
you can.
I mean, obviously they run a ton, and you see like they're running like 10 kilometers and stuff like on a game, like in an hour or 90 minutes, and you're like, okay, that's a lot. But the NBA floor back and forth game,
yeah, crazy
to get back on defense. Have you ever done that? Like, I could do it twice, 2 back and forth, and I'd have to take a break. Well, if they had hockey line shifts like they do,
yeah, 45 seconds.
I'd play that version of basketball.
45 seconds. So NHL, 45 seconds.
Yes.
That's a lot. 45 seconds, change. 45 second change.
Well, that's how the sport's geared, right? Like, it is geared to have people burning that 45-second sprint over and over and over and over and over again. They're sprinters. That's how they do it. They're not supposed to be enduring anything. They sprint every 45 seconds. And I get it. Like, I get why people think that. But, if you look at the bodies of NFL athletes, there's more muscle mass in those guys than anybody else.
It's not even close.
Even if they're 300 pounds. Like, those guys, like...
Why do you think offensive linemen? Why make so much money? Well,
Great point.
Everybody at home.
Everyone always thinks, they don't matter, the receiver, the running back, or the quarterback. No, offensive linemen. If you look at the salaries of offensive linemen,
go check.
You'll learn what that sport's about.
Go look at the draft. Your Seattle Seahawks.
Finally.
Number 9 offensive tackle Charles Cross.
Finally.
I did some research on Charles Cross. Yeah, they did it 1 year too late.
Yeah.
Because
but I was talking with someone that isn't really a Seahawks fan. They're a Packers fan. Yeah. And they actually believe that Drew Lock got a bad rap in Denver, and I do too. I believe that, his receivers are hurt. He was a horrible coaching staff. They didn't play him right. And so I think that there's a chance that he could be a Ryan Tannehill.
Okay. No, that's good.
That's not bad. It's all right. It's all right. You still got DK Metcalf. You still got Lockett. Penny played great the last 4 games, and he drafted a new running back. I'm not sure what he's going to be like. And then you're starting to invest in your O-line. So, maybe there's something there.
This cross kid is special.
Everyone gave him an A grade. They gave the Hawks an A grade for the pick. I think that's a great pick.
I'm surprised he didn't go top 4. I'm not
joking.
Really? Yes, because you do some research. Well, number 1 pick was Trayvon Walker from Georgia.
Yeah, that was a horrible pick.
But still, though, look at the defensive end.
I know, but they should have taken him then.
Well, we all know who should have went number 1 was Adrian Hutchinson, the kid from Michigan.
Yeah.
He should have went first. I don't know what they did, but the Lions must have did something weird with Jacksonville, with the Jaguars, because the kid's from Michigan, played for Michigan, and his number 2 pick, and he's going to play for the Lions.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, hey,
and the kid's a killer. I mean, the kid lit up.
Are you going to become a Lions fan again?
Absolutely not. So lit up. Look at my Raiders, man. Are you crazy right now? Look at how good they look.
Your Raiders, yeah, sure, but look at the rest of that division. That is a division from hell.
I'm not.
And you got to play them twice. That's 6 games of your schedule has to be against those guys.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'll be attending Raiders Nation.
Out of their division.
Raiders
How many games do they win in their division?
Listen,
they're going to
play. Let's talk about this. I was right last year. Finally, you were wrong, Jesse the Great.
I was off by 1 game.
Yeah, but that
And
one
it
game
made
made the
I know it
playoffs.
did make the
It made the
playoffs. That's
playoffs, baby.
hilarious. I can't believe it.
You know, in the NFL, Jesse, as well as I do, that one game means a lot. That's like
But
saying in
you
soccer-
weren't right. You
but
picked
in
them
soccer-
higher. You
but
made
in-
them. You
But
wanted
in
them to
soccer, people go, "Oh, they only won 1-0."
Do you
And
see
know as well as I
Canada?
do in soccer.
We haven't talked about Canada in the World Cup.
But wait a second now.
Okay, go ahead.
But in soccer, when someone wins 2-0,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, where'd you go?
I just don't worry about it. Just keep talking. I can hear you.
Do you know it's true that in soccer you hear people say all the time, you're like, oh, they won 2-0, the game was close. Nothing's close at 2-0. 2-0 is a
no.
2-0 is a massacre. Is a massacre in soccer. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. Like, if you know anything about sports, I've seen 1-0 games, which really means 10-0. Because they scored, the other team had the ball 20% of the time they had the ball. The other team had it 80% of the time. They won 1-0. You know, that's how it is.
Yeah, Canada goes to the World Cup, and they get the group from hell. They're gonna play Croatia. What are you gonna do in that game?
You're joking right now, right? You want me to say it on the show?
Yes.
You want me to?
Yes.
Do you want me to say it on the show?
Yes.
Once and for all, I go for Croatia.
No.
1,000%. 1,000%.
You're Canadian.
Doesn't matter. I go for. Listen, do I have to take my shirt off on the show right now? Show you. Listen to me when I tell you this.
I can't believe you.
Yeah, I know.
You
People are
always
gonna
said
get mad all you want. Want me to lie on
Canada
the show?
there.
Want me to lie?
Canada.
You want me to lie?
No, I don't want you to lie. I want you to tell the truth. But I thought for sure you'd take Canada.
Listen, if we're playing hockey, if we're playing tennis, if we're playing field hockey, if we're playing baseball, if we're playing basketball, when we're playing soccer, absolutely not.
What is wrong with you?
I go for Croatia, and I'm telling you right now.
All the things you've said about Canada are being washed away.
No, it's not true. I can't lie. I love Canada. In my backyard, the Canadian flag flies over top of the Croatian
It's over top
flag.
of the Croatian. So
Yes,
shouldn't
of course.
you be cheering for the Canadians over the Croatians?
Can't do it, my friend. Listen, this is some. Croatia is a country of 4 million people. Okay, my parents are from there. At 4 million people, and look at how we excel in sports. 4 million measly people live in Croatia, and you're going to take that away. And listen to me when I tell you this, Canada. I cheered for Canada. I almost started crying when they made it. And you know what the crazy part was? You need to suffer, Canada. You need to suffer like the rest of the countries have suffered. And
They haven't made the World Cup since the 80s.
They didn't deserve it. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if they come in here and they don't get 1 point, they don't score 1 goal, they get murdered by every team, you suffer. Then you come back 4 years later, you make it again, like every other team has done it. You get in now.
It's a horrible group, and they're not going to come through it.
No,
obviously. But
who knows?
No, they can't.
Yeah,
no, you can't.
I don't know.
I don't think so. It's man. It sucks. Do you wish that they just got into another group so you could like?
Oh yes, I would have went for Canada and Croatia. I would have doubled down. But you know what the funny part is? You ask any Italian kid right now. You can't. They didn't make it. But I'm trying to you ask every Portuguese kid. Okay, you ask every Portuguese kid that's Canadian who they'd go for, and I guarantee you 9 out of 10 would say they'd go for Ronaldo, Portugal.
Well, yes, but that I can. But you were born in Canada.
I know.
Belgium. They play Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco. That sucks.
Yeah.
I hope they score.
They will. They're a fast team. You know what I love about their soccer? Canada doesn't play European soccer.
It's true. Play North American soccer.
Listen, they're fun to watch. They're up 2-1. They don't sit back like play European soccer. They keep going. They keep pressing. Listen, that's a problem because I'm telling you, the team is good. They're really good.
I don't think they can.
They're good.
I don't think they can upset Belgium.
They can win a game. They can win a game in that group.
Well, they have to beat Morocco because Croatia would be the only other choice, and it'll be tough.
But Croatia's done crazy things.
They have. You're right.
Croatia could play France and beat France, but then in qualifying, and then go and play some minuscule team and they tie. You know what I mean? So you don't know. Like soccer's a cruel game, man. So everybody can say all they want, but Canada has a lot of talent. A lot of talent.
They do.
And
with Davies coming back, I mean, obviously that.
Yeah, and they don't play scared
now.
Yeah.
If he comes back, and so
He will. He'll come back. He'll
hopefully
play.
he does,
Are you
yeah.
crazy to play in the World Cup for Canada?
I know.
He has to come
He
back.
has to come
And
back.
let me tell you something. They play a very different brand of soccer, and people got to be careful because they're not going to sit back on the game. They're going to press the ball forward, and it's
And these
fun
teams
to watch.
might not have, they haven't got a chance to play Canada, so they don't really know what they're at. So there's a man. I want to be optimistic, but it's a tough group.
It's a tough group, but listen, you have to go. Everybody's tough that makes it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah, you have to. You
got to be one of the best.
Hey, someone was talking about that today for Toronto. If the Leafs can beat, which I don't think they can, but if the Leafs can beat Tampa. And then go and they're going to play the Panthers next, and then they'd end up playing like Colorado. If Colorado goes through, if they could beat those three teams, they deserve to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, let's go. Like I hate the Leafs more than anybody, but the moral of the story is if they can beat those teams, that's how it goes. And people can say, we can all sit here all day long, and Jesse can tell you, and you're great at picking teams, but there's something that we all forget. You have to go play.
Yes.
So
that's
it
why
doesn't
we
matter.
watch.
It doesn't matter. The Oilers could lose in 5. The Calgary Flames can lose in 6. It's momentum and team.
Yeah.
Remember when St. Louis won the Cup?
Yeah.
When Patty Maroon played for them? Did anybody pick them to win the Cup? Not one person on the planet picked them to win the Cup that year. They made the trade at the deadline. They got 2 or 3 players, like character players, nothing big. No one was paying attention to them. They ended up winning the Cup. No one picked them to win the Cup. This is the toughest trophy to win in sport.
Is.
In my opinion,
think so too.
I don't care what anybody says. You got to win. You got to win.
If you ask any NHL
16 games, is it 16 games? Yes.
Well, it depends because it could be more.
No, but I'm saying is that's the minimum.
Oh, you got to win
right?
16 games. Sorry, yes.
That's right. That's the minimum.
16.
You got to win
First
16
to 16.
games. First to 16. Now think about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
After playing an 82 game season.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to like it. Americans, you don't have to pay attention to it. But here's a news flash. The coolest trophy in the world and the toughest one to win, in my opinion,
is the NHL Stanley Cup.
NHL Stanley Cup.
Absolutely. I can't disagree. As much as I love the Super Bowl, it's awesome.
Me too.
It's a spectacle.
Love it.
As much as I, love the NBA and its championships, again, it's the same style. It's the same format as the NHL. It isn't as good as the NHL.
Nope.
You love the World Cup. I love that tournament. It's the best. It's awesome.
Go nuts.
It's mind-blowing. But it's not as hard.
No.
The NHL playoffs have something. They've figured something out. Why not make that happen during the rest of the season? If you ask any NHL fan what they love the most about it's the playoffs.
Everybody, Jesse. Everybody.
And so why not make the season more valuable? It's a no-brainer to me. But, dollars and cents is the only answer. It's the only reason. That's the only reason they're talking
because
about.
Because some markets like Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg.
Well, every team in Canada.
Every team in Canada. Sorry, I should just say that. They benefit by having 82 games.
They sure do.
But then there's about half the American teams do not.
No.
More than half. More than half do not.
It's a tough one. Again, like it's. I don't know if it'll happen. I hope they change the point format at some point, but
get
again,
that started. Yeah.
Start with
and
that.
It's just got to be careful. And it's just got to be careful. And I say this out loud, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but don't CFL the NHL.
Yeah, I know.
So don't CFL the NHL. In Canada, the greatest game in the world. People love it. Like literally right now, if you in another hour from now in Canada, if you look in everybody's back window or front window to see their television set, it will be on now.
Yeah.
Till mid-June.
Yeah.
On NHL hockey, including me, including Jesse. We're all gonna watch it. But don't forget that feeling during the course. That's how you feel during the course of the entire NFL season.
Yeah. Every game. From
game 1 to game 17, Jesse, the truth of the matter. Like, if I'm a fan, to say I'm a fan of sports is an understatement, but to say I'm a fan of the NFL, the excitement I get on every game is insane. Like, I have to watch NFL football majority of the time by myself because the amount of profanity that comes through my mouth when I watch a football game, my wife said, when I go to church, she says, you got to go back to church. You know, like you have to go back. The amount of profanity that comes out of my mouth watching NFL football. You understand, the only other thing that gives me that much emotion is World Cup soccer.
Yeah.
The only other thing in the world, the only thing I can ever watch and be that sweaty and that intense and that, you know what I'm saying? That's the only two things. Not even hockey does that to me. Not even hockey. But NFL football, my Raiders, and Croatia when they play, those two things, I go at, like, shut down the phone, shut the phones, stop the press. I don't care what's going on in the world. I am going to be watching that.
It is. And again, like, the NHL has to learn from that. They have to, they have to use that to their advantage because they have something there and they need to double down on it. Like every other sport has.
Let's bring that back up again too, because I don't want people to forget this either. What you said earlier today, you have a Stingers hat on today, which is the Canadian Basketball League. And I'm telling people at this, I like grade A shit. Okay. There's no secret about that. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've been to the UFC in the octagon 20 times. Okay. I've been to, you name it. I've been to the biggest events in the, like, Stanley Cup stuff. I've been to it all. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, and they don't pay us to say this, but the Stingers basketball is fantastic. I can't express to you enough to go to these games, and I can't push it enough because if it wasn't good, do you see me plugging anything else here to tell you to go see it? Mm-hmm. No. And you know what I was shocked about too, Jesse? Their merch is fantastic.
Yeah, it is good.
I was like, are you guys kidding me? Like, your merch is fantastic. Your branding is great. You go to the live games. We sit courtside. And I'm telling you, there's nobody I want to watch basketball with more than you and Ken and me, you and Ken Franchak. We sit there, we watch it. And I'm telling you, it is the best bang for the buck anywhere, hands down.
So, you know, we have new teams this year too. So, but there's other teams around the country. You need to go to these. Niagara, River Lions, Saskatchewan Rattlers. They were there, both those teams. Newfoundland has a team.
Fantastic.
The Growlers. Yeah. Montreal Alliance.
Yeah.
So Montreal got one. Scarborough. And again, it's these cities, like it's other cities that always wanted a sport to come, and they're getting it, which is awesome. Fraser Valley.
I don't think people understand. People do not understand the level of this basketball. Yeah. And I didn't either until I went live. And even when I went, I had very low expectations. And then when we got there, I was shocked. I mean, they put up 110 points. Okay, guys? 100 when we were at that game.
Yeah, and they do a really cool finish too, which I forget the name of it now, it escapes me. But they do a capped system, which people wanted to do in the NBA for years. And so once it gets to a certain time, you're like, okay, the first one to this point total wins. It's really cool how they do it, and it's awesome.
Very cool.
Because then you get the walk-off effect way more.
Yeah.
Because cap is 104. And so the first team to score 104, they walk off the floor. Like, it's unreal. Like, it's
crazy.
So good. So almost every game has that,
high scoring,
that, and almost that walk-off part, too, which is always the best in basketball.
I'm telling everybody, we're going to get Moon on the show. Moon is the kid that plays for the Clippers in the NBA, and then he plays for the Stingers and the other part of the season in the Canadian Basketball League for the Stingers. But Moon plays for the Clippers in the NBA. It's crazy.
And he's going to be here playing in Edmonton. Like, he is playing again. Yeah. So he's...
But you said it. You said the first time we saw him play, you said, this guy's going to end up in the NBA. And I thought to myself, can these guys even go to the NBA? And now we're starting to find out that there's more than just Moon going to the NBA from the Canadian basketball. Yeah.
So it's great. Like, I love it. It's growing. We're going to get more games, more teams and stuff like that. So we just need to support it because it is awesome. There's no question.
You see next week's guest too? Next week, Ken Reed.
Ken Reed from Sportsnet.
Sportsnet, and he's a gem too. He's awesome, and he made his picks too. So we're gonna put his picks up on our social media, see if they clash with Jesse the Gent, and we'll see what's going on. But we have Ken Reed on next week from Sportsnet, and he's an old friend of mine, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's got a ton of knowledge about sports, so it's gonna be great to have him on. Yeah,
You're around it all the time, so that's pretty cool that he'll be.
And he's in Toronto. He's in Toronto, so next week the Leafs should be down 0-2, 0-3. So it'll be great to have him on when that happens.
But I don't know. Is he allowed to say who he cheers for?
He probably is an Oilers fan. Like,
he's from here, isn't he?
Yeah. I would gather he probably is, and those guys in Toronto, where they're from right away when they start talking, because they're not, none of them are from Toronto pretty much. And so you can kind of see their allegiance, when they're on Sportsnet.
There was nothing better than the Toronto Sports Network. I mean, TSN, the sports network, losing the hockey rights.
Crazy. That's crazy, man.
Because, the Toronto sports, TSN, that's all they talked about, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
At least Sportsnet now, you have regional areas where you can watch your region. It was smart how they did it. They broke it down into regions.
I think they did. I think TSN did Michael Landsberg dirty. I'm going to say that on this show. I don't know. I don't know we never asked Michael, and Michael's never said that. But when he was on our show, I always wanted to know that. I want to know how that really happened at the end, because his show was fantastic. Off the record, everybody watched it.
It won ratings awards all the time.
Kinds of stuff. I don't know what happened at the end, though. I don't know if the guests, kind of tailed off. I'm not sure what happened. But when we have Michael on the show next time, I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, we should find that out,
because
that's a good question.
It seems like they did him dirty.
I think it's weird because there's so much sports talk stuff, but is there, other than this show, anything good anymore?
Yeah.
Tim and Sid. Well, now it's just Tim and Friends, and you're like, well, okay, well, that's.
And there's another one. Do you Tip was with Tim and Sid before? Now I don't know about you, but I always thought that Sid was the A side in my opinion, right? Like, and I know Sid from back in the day. He interviewed me when I owned the MFC, and it's crazy because it was Tim and Sid, and then I thought to myself, well, Sid's now on breakfast television in Toronto, and I'm like, well, wait a second, I thought Sid was the A side, and
it was though, because that was a bigger contract.
Well, but why didn't TSN see the light and say?
Well, Sportsnet.
Excuse me, Sportsnet. Why didn't Sportsnet say, okay, Sid and Friends? You know what I mean? But
they offered the one that they wanted over there, and that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
again, you look at the Andre and O'Toole thing. Like,
what about that?
O'Toole got dirty, and there's no question about it. Why?
Well, but don't forget those two did so much flip-flopping because they went from
they went to the States, they went to Fox,
they went to the States, and then they made some money, then they came back and they got a great deal when they came back, and then they did O'Toole dirty, so that's it's maybe our next week's guest Ken Reed can share some light on all this stuff. Right, maybe he can, because I really don't know, because I see things differently. I saw Sid as the A side, and now he's working at breakfast television, which I'm not sure what that means, but I being on Sportsnet and a show like that I think it's bigger, in my opinion, but
I don't know. Like, I don't think it is, like, and I think that more people watch the morning show than they do
probably on the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
probably.
Absolutely.
Probably on the grand scheme of things, and I'm not gonna lie, I watch Sid in the morning, so I have my coffee, I watch Sid in the morning, he cracks me up, like I've known him for 100 years, right? So, but I really thought that he got played dirty there too. So we'll get Sid on the show one day too, and he'll enlighten us on
give us the old lowdown.
Well, everybody wants to be politically correct. You never know when those doors open again, but
it's true.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well. We talked about a lot.
There's only so many jobs. There's only so many jobs in the Toronto market in the sports world.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
Yeah, so you got to be careful how much trash talk you do.
Finally, I wanted to say the Blue Jays on a roll. Blue Jays could be.
Wow.
I mean, this could be the year.
Wow.
This could be the year, everyone.
My dad's calling me every 5 minutes because he's a Blue Jay fan like you, and I'm a Tigers fan. And it's funny, and I love the Jays too because they're fantastic. You can't not like the Jays.
No,
like
they're so
I don't care. I don't care who you are. Like they're easily the most exciting team to watch in Major League Baseball. End of story. They are.
It is cool how they brought in the hockey element with the goal horn when they hit a home run, and and like, hey, that's smart actually. That's smart to do. And
they're a hard team not to like. They're a hard team.
Vladdy, and you know, again, like guy's unreal, and you know, 15-8, got a pitching staff finally. As long as he can stay healthy, hey man, we
they're young.
They're
young.
They're
young.
Got to
young.
play the Yanks tonight, and then So I mean, shout out to them because they're looking good, 15-8.
Well,
and they're going up every time they lose, they win 2. So you know, it's they haven't lost a series all season. They tied.
And look at the one game.
Series.
Look at the one run games they've won so far.
Yeah,
like,
they're coming back.
Crazy.
They're not out of it. They're never out of it because you got the power there. And
I haven't missed a game yet this year. I've watched every game, the 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you know, the
Jason 30.
Jason 30. I've watched every Jason 30, and I'm a Tigers fan.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you know. It's so weird because you cannot not watch them. You can't.
No, they're exciting to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah,
you never know when you're going to get one of those. I mean, every game they're jacking a shot over the moon shot somewhere. So it's pretty awesome.
The reincarnation of Babe Ruth. I mean, the kid is the reincarnation of Babe Ruth. It's unbelievable. He's hitting bombs. I mean, bombs over the fence. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
When he gets a hold of it. Whew.
Yeah, and Bo Bichette. He's another one that's
coming back. Like he had a little struggle there, but yeah, he's coming back. And again, they're gonna be good. I'm telling you, they're gonna be in there. So
that youth is gonna come.
But you talk about long season.
Yeah, long.
162 games or whatever it is.
It is. 162, man. Oh my god.
I don't even understand that.
These kids must get in the summertime and they play in those double headers back to back, and it's like, oh my god.
Well,
back to back double headers and going in extra innings. You know what I mean? It's oh my god.
Man, oh man. Well, it is. That's how baseball's been done forever. So
that's right.
And again, but everyone watches the playoffs.
That's not going to change.
No,
that's not going to change.
Everyone watches the playoffs, though.
Let's thank our sponsors, Crystal Glass for all your glass needs, the #1 glass company in Canada. And then don't forget, of course, Meatheads, specialty meat shop. And great. We'll post. You can check them out on our Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram and all our stuff. Once again, Crystal Glass for all your glass needs. And, of course, Meatheads, specialty meats, everything.
If the Oilers win, you go down to Meathead and you buy yourself a steak.
Yes, exactly.
You should do that because you know what? The Oilers don't win much.
Oh, Jesse, why you? He hates the Oilers. I think the Oilers
need to win.
Yes.
Need to win this series
as much as Toronto.
More.
I'll tell you, if Toronto loses in the first round, it's not catastrophic because of their woes, right? If the Oilers lose in the first round this year, it's catastrophic.
Especially the Kings.
Catastrophic. Especially with the team they have right now, it is catastrophic if they lose in the first round.
You heard it here, everybody. Get those picks in. Comment your picks, who you think's going to win. Don't wait till after the game. Comment now.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy after. It's super
it's pretty easy to do that.
And guys, check Jesse out on all his social media at Jesse Martineau. He is becoming a world-renowned fly fisherman, and I want you to check his stuff out. It is absolutely fantastic on Instagram at Jesse Martineau. And it's probably flashing right here somewhere on the screen. But really go check out his fly fishing stuff. It is absolutely fantastic.
Some people wonder what fly fishing is all about. Well, you can learn.
Yes, it's not that easy though. It's not. Hey, listen, it's not that easy. So
my friend who just starting this year to fly fish, he's figured out. It's like, oh boy, this is another level.
Yeah. So, I come from Ontario bass fishing. You throw it in, you go to sleep, and then it goes on your thing. You cannot do that when you fly fish.
No, there's always something to do.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thanks, Mark. Thanks everybody for watching. My thing went out again. Oh, what's wrong with that one? Banging the desk too hard. Anyway, that's my picture there. That's Mark Pavelich. Great. We'll see you next time on the Me and Jesse podcast.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/Me and Jesse.